Deciphering the world's most secretive signals intelligence units, Whispers in the Ether, an introduction to SIGINT. In the 21st century, the battlefield is no longer defined solely by borders, armies, or even visible weaponry. It stretches invisibly across oceans, satellites, fiber optic cables, and the very air we breathe. This is the realm of signals intelligence, or SIGINT, the art and science of intercepting, deciphering, and exploiting communications and electronic emissions. In 2025, SIGINT is not just a support tool for military operations. It is the nervous system of national security, capable of influencing diplomacy, preventing attacks, and in some cases, reshaping the geopolitical map without a single shot being fired. The concept is as old as radio itself. In the First World War, armies realized that the airwaves were as vulnerable as the battlefield, and that messages sent without protection could be as damaging as losing troops. By the Second World War, SIGINT had evolved into a decisive weapon. The British breaking of Germany's Enigma code at Bletchley Park didn't just shorten the war. It revolutionized the understanding of intelligence as a strategic force multiplier. From that moment on, nations invested heavily in mastering the ether. The Cold War turned SIGINT into a global chess game. The United States and the Soviet Union built vast networks of listening posts, spy satellites, and undersea cable taps. The 1970s and 1980s saw the rise of ECHELON, a joint US-UK-led program capable of vacuuming up global communications traffic, sifting through it for keywords, and sharing intelligence among allies. It was one of the first examples of signals intelligence on a planetary scale, and it set the stage for the interconnected surveillance web we know today. Fast forward to 2025, and the stakes are higher than ever. The exponential growth of digital communication has flooded the world with signals, phone calls, encrypted messaging apps, financial transactions, GPS pings, drone telemetry, even the quiet chatter between IoT devices. Each is a potential goldmine of intelligence, if you have the means to collect and decode it. That's why the world's most secretive SIGINT units operate continuously, scanning the electromagnetic spectrum, breaking encryption, and building vast archives of intercepted data. Unlike traditional espionage, SIGINT doesn't always require agents on the ground. A single satellite can monitor troop movements, intercept missile telemetry, or detect the faint signal of a covert radio transmission hundreds of kilometers away. Fiber optic tapping operations can siphon vast amounts of internet traffic without the target even realizing. And airborne platforms, from drones to specialized aircraft like the RC-135 rivet joint, act as mobile ears in the sky, eavesdropping on everything from enemy radar systems to encrypted battlefield communications. But with this capability comes immense responsibility and controversy. SIGINT blurs the line between defense and intrusion. Democracies argue that it's a necessary shield against terrorism, organized crime, and hostile states. Critics counter that mass interception undermines privacy, fuels distrust, and creates the potential for abuse. In an era where the most personal aspects of our lives are transmitted electronically, the question becomes, who is listening, and to what end? As we step deeper into this shadowy world, we will meet the guardians of the airwaves, elite units hidden behind code names and classified budgets. We'll uncover the tools they use, the missions they undertake, and the ways they shape the very balance of power on Earth. For in the world of SIGINT, wars can be won or lost in silence, and the most decisive weapon may be nothing more than a whisper in the ether. The guardians of the airwaves, top secret units revealed. If signals intelligence is the silent nervous system of modern power, then the units that operate it are its brain, unseen, unacknowledged, and often misunderstood. Spread across the globe, These organizations wield capabilities so vast they can listen in on conversations across oceans, intercept encrypted battlefield orders, and monitor the faintest electronic signature in hostile territory. To most people, they are little more than acronyms. To those in the know, they are the unseen architects of security and influence. At the forefront stands the National Security Agency, NSA, of the United States. Officially, its mission is to protect national security systems and produce foreign signals intelligence. In reality, the NSA is the world's largest and most technologically advanced SIGINT agency, with a global reach extending from space-based listening posts to undersea cable taps. Its presence is felt through sprawling facilities like the one at Fort Meade, Maryland, and through an international network of partnerships, bases, and covert stations. Beyond the headlines of whistleblowers and surveillance scandals lies an organization capable of decrypting vast amounts of data, mapping digital networks, and providing intelligence that directly influences military operations and foreign policy. Across the Atlantic, the Government Communications Headquarters, GCHQ in the United Kingdom, acts as both a partner and an independent force in global SIGINT. Known for its iconic circular building in Cheltenham, GCHQ specializes in code breaking, cyber defense, and global communications interception. Historically, it played a critical role in cracking German naval codes during World War II, and later in monitoring Soviet activities during the Cold War. Today, it works hand in hand with the NSA under the UQSA agreement, sharing raw data and analysis across the so-called Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which also includes Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In the East, the landscape changes. Russia maintains a formidable SIGINT capability through both the Federal Security Service, FSB, and the Main Directorate of the General Staff, GRU. The FSB, as the successor to the KGB's internal security and counterintelligence branches, focuses heavily on domestic interception, counterterrorism, and monitoring foreign communications entering Russian networks. The GRU, on the other hand, takes a more aggressive outward-facing posture, conducting electronic espionage abroad, targeting military assets, and supporting cyber operations attributed to state-linked hacker groups. From listening stations in Kaliningrad to hidden facilities in Siberia, Russia's SIGINT reach is both strategic and offensive in nature. Beyond these giants, there are other powerful but less publicized players. China's technical reconnaissance bureaus operate under the People's Liberation Army and Ministry of State Security, focusing on both regional and global surveillance. Israel's Unit 8200 is renowned for its cyber prowess and electronic intelligence capabilities, often considered one of the most advanced SIGINT outfits per capita in the world. Even smaller nations maintain specialized listening posts, often feeding data to larger allies in exchange for protection or intelligence sharing. What unites all these units is their near-invisible footprint. They operate from secure compounds, on ships, in aircraft, and even from embassies that double as listening posts. Their analysts work in sealed rooms, parsing endless streams of data in search of patterns. A missile launch sequence hidden in static, a terrorist's phone call buried in millions of harmless conversations, a coded signal pulsing from deep space. And yet, despite their secrecy, these units are intertwined. Cooperation and rivalry coexist in the shadows. Allies share information when interests align, and spy on each other when they don't. The guardians of the airwaves are both protectors and predators, constantly shifting roles depending on the strategic moment. They are the quiet watchers in an age where every signal matters. And in the chapters to come, we will pull back the curtain further to reveal the tools they wield, the operations they execute, and the ethical lines they sometimes cross in the relentless pursuit of information. Tools of the trade, technologies and techniques. The power of a signals intelligence unit lies not just in its people, but in its tools, a blend of bleeding-edge technology, sophisticated mathematics, and relentless innovation. In an era where information travels at light speed, the advantage belongs to those who can collect, decode, and interpret it faster than anyone else. From the hum of ancient shortwave radios to the silent precision of quantum processors, the evolution of SIGINT tools is a story of constant reinvention. At the cutting edge lies quantum decryption, a looming revolution that threatens to render today's most secure encryption obsolete. Traditional cryptography relies on mathematical problems so complex that even supercomputers would take centuries to solve. But quantum computers, leveraging qubits and parallel computation, could crack these codes in hours or minutes. Nations are racing to harness this power, knowing that whoever masters quantum decryption first will hold the keys to vast archives of intercepted but currently unreadable communications. Still, much of SIGINT remains grounded in proven methods. Radio frequency interception, the bread and butter of the trade, captures everything from military command transmissions to satellite uplinks. Sophisticated antennas and signal processors can isolate a single transmission from a crowded spectrum, even identifying its source through triangulation. Once intercepted, the data moves into the realm of cryptanalysis, where algorithms and human expertise work together to peel back layers of encryption. In recent years, artificial intelligence and machine learning have become indispensable. The sheer volume of intercepted data is staggering, billions of communications each day. No human team could manually sift through it all. AI systems can flag anomalies, detect patterns in metadata, and even predict behavior based on past communications. For instance, a sudden change in a unit's radio chatter might signal an impending operation. A spike in encrypted satellite messages could indicate a high-level meeting. Machine learning models grow more accurate with each intercepted dataset, turning raw signals into actionable intelligence at unprecedented speed. SIGINT is not limited to voice or text. Electronic emissions intelligence, ELINT, focuses on non-communication signals, radar sweeps, missile guidance frequencies, even the electromagnetic signatures of enemy aircraft. By cataloging and analyzing these emissions, SIGINT units can track movements, assess capabilities, and devise countermeasures. Cyber surveillance is another expanding frontier, blurring the line between SIGINT and cyber warfare. This involves tapping fiber optic cables, exploiting vulnerabilities in network infrastructure, and embedding malware to siphon data directly from a target's systems. Yet these tools carry a dark side. The ability to intercept vast amounts of civilian communication raises profound ethical questions. Governments argue that mass surveillance is essential for national security, pointing to disrupted terror plots and intercepted espionage. Privacy advocates warn that such powers can be, and have been, abused, leading to political manipulation, repression, and erosion of civil liberties. The debate is complicated further by the secrecy surrounding SIGINT capabilities, making public accountability rare. Some operations blur legality entirely. Covert cable tapping missions in foreign waters, clandestine drone-based interception over sovereign airspace, and the compromise of supposedly neutral communication hubs all occupy a gray zone of international law. In the intelligence world, plausible deniability is often as important as technical capability. For SIGINT operators, mastering these tools means walking a tightrope between security and intrusion, necessity and overreach. In the hands of a skilled analyst, a single intercepted signal can change the course of a conflict. But in the wrong hands, the same tools can undermine trust, destabilize governments, or silence dissent. These technologies are the heartbeat of modern intelligence, silent, invisible, and constantly evolving. And as we'll see in the next chapter, they are deployed in operations where secrecy is absolute, stakes are immense, and victories are often hidden from public view. Inside the shadows, covert operations and notable triumphs. Signals intelligence may be gathered in rooms filled with glowing monitors, But its true value is proven in the field, in the quiet victories and hidden interventions that rarely make headlines. These are the moments when an intercepted signal changes the course of a battle, prevents a disaster, or tips the balance in a geopolitical standoff. And while much of this work remains classified, a few examples and educated reconstructions offer a glimpse into the shadowy world where SIGINT meets real-world impact. During the Cold War, SIGINT was the silent partner in many high-stakes operations. The United States Operation Ivy Bells, for instance, involved placing wiretaps on Soviet undersea communication cables in the Sea of Okhotsk. This daring mission, conducted by Navy divers and supported by the NSA, yielded years of valuable intelligence, all from the faint electrical whispers of a cable lying on the ocean floor. On the other side, the KGB's interception stations along the Iron Curtain monitored NATO radio traffic relentlessly, alerting Warsaw Pact forces to troop movements and military exercises. In the 21st century, the scope of SIGINT has expanded far beyond traditional espionage. Consider the disruption of several terrorist plots, where intercepted satellite phone calls or encrypted internet messages provided actionable leads. One publicly acknowledged case is the 2011 interception of communications between al-Qaeda leaders in Yemen, which contributed to the tracking and eventual elimination of Anwar al-Awlaki. Similarly, during conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan, SIGINT operators intercepted insurgent radio chatter and cell phone signals, pinpointing the locations of IED networks before they could strike. SIGINT also plays a pivotal role in cyber warfare. In 2015, a coordinated cyber espionage operation attributed to state actors was uncovered through signals intelligence monitoring, revealing a massive campaign targeting government networks across Europe and Asia. Analysts detected unusual traffic patterns, traced them to compromised servers, and shared the intelligence with allied cybersecurity teams, preventing potentially catastrophic breaches. Yet some of the most intriguing operations are those cloaked in partial secrecy. There are credible reports of airborne SIGINT platforms loitering near conflict zones, capturing real-time enemy communications to feed directly into battlefield decision-making. Unmanned aerial vehicles equipped with advanced interception arrays can eavesdrop on frequencies once thought secure, giving commanders a window into enemy plans mere minutes after they're spoken. Behind these successes are the human operators, linguists who can discern subtle inflections in a foreign dialect, cryptanalysts who unravel encryption schemes in days instead of months, and engineers who maintain the delicate balance of high-tech listening equipment. Their work demands precision, patience, and an ability to think several moves ahead. They are often the first to know of an impending attack and the last to see their efforts acknowledged publicly. But covert operations carry inherent risks. A failed interception mission can expose methods and trigger diplomatic crises. The 2013 revelations by Edward Snowden, detailing the extent of NSA and allied surveillance programs, damaged alliances and forced agencies to adapt their tactics. In the SIGINT world, the line between triumph and fallout can be razor-thin. Despite these challenges, the influence of signals intelligence in modern geopolitics is undeniable. Whether preventing conflict, steering diplomatic negotiations, or enabling precision strikes, SIGINT often acts as the invisible hand shaping events. Victories are counted not in public accolades, but in crises averted and wars never fought. As we look ahead, the battlefield of SIGINT is shifting upward, into orbit, and forward into realms of computing power once thought impossible. In our final chapter, we'll explore how the future of espionage is being rewritten by AI, space technology, and quantum breakthroughs. The future of espionage, AI, space, and the next frontier. Signals intelligence has always thrived on adaptation. From intercepting enemy radio chatter in the trenches of World War I to tapping undersea cables during the Cold War, the craft has evolved with every leap in technology. But the changes looming on the horizon are unlike anything SIGINT has faced before. In the next decade, the battlefield will not only span land, sea, air, and cyberspace, it will extend into orbit, into quantum realms, and into the unseen fabric of our hyper-connected lives. The first and perhaps most transformative shift is the race for space-based SIGINT. Satellites have long been used to monitor communications, radar emissions, and electronic signals from space. But new generations of small, agile, and relatively low-cost satellites are creating constellations that can blanket the Earth with near-continuous coverage. These orbital ears can detect everything from encrypted diplomatic traffic to missile-launch telemetry, all without ever crossing a national border. The strategic advantage is immense, and the competition fierce. The United States, China, Russia, and several private companies are already deploying specialized SIGINT satellites capable of high-resolution interception in real time. Then there is the looming quantum challenge. Quantum computing threatens to dismantle the encryption methods that protect military and civilian communications alike. Once operational at scale, a sufficiently powerful quantum computer could break cryptographic codes that today's supercomputers would struggle with for centuries. This is both a threat and an opportunity for SIGINT agencies. Those who master quantum decryption first could unlock decades' worth of intercepted but unreadable data, while those unprepared could see their own secrets laid bare. Nations are racing to develop quantum-resistant encryption to defend against this coming storm. But it is an arms race with no clear finish line. Artificial intelligence is set to amplify SIGINT capabilities to levels once thought impossible. Already, machine learning systems analyze vast data sets for anomalies, a sudden burst of encrypted traffic from an unusual location, or a shift in the electromagnetic signature of a radar installation. Future AI systems will go further, integrating disparate sources of intelligence to anticipate events before they happen. Imagine a SIGINT AI that correlates social media metadata, intercepted radio chatter, and satellite imagery to predict troop movements days in advance, or to flag the digital fingerprint of a cyber attack before it launches. Perhaps the most subtle and most pervasive frontier lies in what some analysts call digital dust, the countless microsignals emitted by our interconnected devices. Smart appliances, wearable health trackers, autonomous vehicles, all produce streams of data that, while individually harmless, can be aggregated to reveal patterns about individuals, groups, and even entire nations. Future SIGINT operations will increasingly target this ambient data, turning the world's convenience-driven technology into an expansive sensor network. But as the technological horizon expands, so too do the ethical dilemmas. Space-based surveillance raises questions about sovereignty. Quantum breakthroughs risk destabilizing trust in global communications. AI-driven predictions could be weaponized or misinterpreted, and the exploitation of digital dust pushes the boundaries of privacy in ways societies have yet to fully confront. For the secretive units that guard and exploit the world's signals, the challenge will be to navigate this evolving landscape without losing sight of the delicate balance between security and liberty. In the wrong hands, tomorrow's SIGINT tools could become instruments of oppression. In the right ones, they could prevent wars before they begin. The future of espionage will not be decided in back alleys or smoke-filled rooms. It will be determined in data centers, satellite control stations, and quantum laboratories. The silent war for information supremacy is already underway, and its outcome will shape the balance of power for generations to come. In the shadows of our connected world, signals intelligence operates silently, shaping events we may never hear about. From space-based satellites to quantum decryption labs, these secretive units guard nations, influence conflicts, and peer into the most guarded communications on Earth. We've pulled back the curtain, but the truth is, much remains hidden, evolving in ways we can only imagine. If you found this exploration into the unseen world of SIGINT fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our modern world. And remember, sometimes the most powerful weapon is the one you never see.